This is University of Washington. This is the largest university on the West Coast. We're really close to figuring out which pieces of legislation we're going to partner with. There's a lot of really cool things that we've discovered along this tour. So before we go on a mainstream media rampage with the bus, we really want to understand this problem fully. The component that's up next after awareness is action. Right? We're trying to figure out which pieces of legislation that are working on being passed are the most beneficial and make the most sense. So the awareness from people signing the bus and talking about this problem is going to transition into real change very soon. Until then, we're going to continue grassroots, linking up with college students, linking up with people who are in debt, and giving them hope, right? Because I think that's what it's all about. Our generation is crippled by this debt, and we need a way out. So people are really responding well to this so far on the tour. Why do you think college has become so expensive?
I mean, they're mostly like companies, they make so much money per year, and not a lot of it is getting put back into students.
West Coast tour is almost over. It feels like we just started.
So we live in a trailer because my husband has $500,000 of school loan debt from chiropractic school. So chiropractic school, to become a doctor, you go year-round. You take 27 to 30 credit hours per trimester. And so there was no working, there was no way to be able to work. And so we also took out stipends to live off of while he was in school. So
Wow.
Yeah, equals $500,000.
And so now you're traveling, or is this your full-time residence?
So we live in the trailer. We can't afford a home. We can't live in a house. We have so much debt.
What are the monthly payments on something like that?
Ours are deferred. Like, we haven't even touched them.
Right.
And he's been out of school for almost 3 years.
What does that debt mean to you guys? Obviously, you're not touching it, you're not looking at it, but what does that mean to your future?
It makes it to where I feel like we have to constantly push to make more and make more.
It feels like, so many people just want to do what they love.
Yeah.
And then they become a slave to the thing that they love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in all reality, this has never happened to any other generation before.
Mm-hmm.
$1.6 trillion just appeared. So what do you think needs to be done about this? If you could really, in like a perfect world, in a perfect situation, what would you like to see happen?
Gosh, for me, I mean, I would like to see just the interest rates being less, especially on the private loans. Maybe why does it have to be so expensive? Or my husband and I just talked about this the other day of we knew what we were getting into, but having the mass amount of debt is the biggest issue for us.
It's kind of something you can't really prepare for either.
Yeah,
It's like I feel like we never received the financial literacy through school.
Yeah.
So we never know what it means to have debt until you're in it.
Yeah.
And especially when the first example or the first experience you get to learn about debt is by being in $500,000 of it. That just seems like all instantly right there, you're already in an unfair advantage compared to whether somebody be more financially literate or somebody who's in a low income house who can afford financial aid and they can get into the school without that debt.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the middle class, like yourself,
right? That's exactly
is
where we
the
were.
class that's the most affected.
Yeah.
Which in all reality, we talk about in this country, we want to build the middle class.
Yeah.
How can you build that if you're putting people like you into massive amounts of debt?
Exactly.
It just doesn't work like that.
Yes.
Is it hard to get a traditional loan now because of the loans you
Yeah.
already have?
Yes. So, yeah, and with that, and then, yeah, just the amount of debt that we have. And
So like you can't go and get a mortgage right now?
no,
Mhm.
there's no way. Yeah.
So essentially, if you didn't have your parents' help, you could be homeless in a sense.
We would have been homeless.
What you guys are doing is really powerful because there's a lot of people who feel very similar to what you guys are going through, which
Yeah.
is, a sense of being defeated, and to see you still find the help around you to build a living space like this is incredible. It really
Thanks.
is. This is really wild, for us, we're traveling around the country in an RV, so it takes us to RV stops, but some of these places are actually home for people who are in massive amounts of debt, and this is all they have. This kind of stuff makes it more real. You really feel these people are passionate about something, whether it be being a doctor, a dentist, a chiropractor, a job that, our world really needs. And they're homeless if they didn't have help from their family. So we're about to go to Montana, and I'm going to use this time to really research these bills right now that are being processed in Congress and get to know a little bit more about what's happening from a government level. We really need to figure out which pieces of legislation and bills are being discussed in Congress that would take away and alleviate some of these stresses that these people are facing from high interest rates, from just even the fact of having student loans.